The sky over New Eden burned red like fire. Li Jun looked at the crops growing in the fields. After 6 years of making the planet more like Earth, plants were finally growing well. The colony was 20 years old now, 2 decades of peaceful living on this green world far from Earth. "Director Kim needs the reports today," said Park Han, holding his tablet. June took a deep breath of the fresh air. "Tell her we're getting 15% more crops than we expected." Then the ground shook. June checked his device for earthquakes, but it showed nothing. The sky suddenly got darker. "What is?" Park Han stopped talking. He would never speak again. A beam of energy hit the middle of the colony. Buildings turned to dust. June could only watch as the destruction moved toward them. At the spaceport, Yoonji worked fast to get the colony's only faster-than-light ship ready to escape. People ran into the ship, bringing whatever they could carry. "We can't wait for anyone else," Yoonji yelled as the ship filled up. "Closing the doors now." As the ship flew up into space, its computers recorded everything. The giant alien ships above the planet, the step-by-step destruction of 20 years of human work, and the death of 40,000 people. The Xeri Imperium had come to human space. They had just made the biggest mistake of their existence. In the ship, Yoonji pushed the engines beyond safe limits. Behind them, New Eden was turning into a ball of fire. She felt tears on her face, but kept working. There was no time to cry. "How many did we get out?" she asked her co-pilot, Ba Sung. "Just over 200, he said, his voice hollow. "Out of 40,000. The ship shook as energy barely missed them. The alien vessels had noticed their escape. "Jump drive charging," Yoonji said. 60 seconds to jump. On the screens, they could see the alien ships clearly now. They looked like giant insects made of metal, with weapons pointing from every angle. They fired again, and the human ship rocked from a glancing hit. 30 seconds, Yoonji said through clenched teeth. In the passenger area, people held each other. Some prayed. Some stared at the images of their dying home. A mother clutched her baby tight, singing softly to keep the child from crying. 10 seconds, Yoonji announced. Another shot from the aliens hit their shields. Warning lights flashed across the control board. 5, 4, 3. The ship jolted hard as a direct hit damaged one engine. 2, 1. The stars stretched, and then they were gone, jumping through space, leaving the destruction behind. In the quiet that followed, Yoonji finally let herself shake, but only for a moment. There was work to do. The jump had been rushed, systems were damaged, and they carried the last survivors of New Eden. "Start recording everything from the sensor logs," she told Ba Sung. "Every second of it. Earth needs to see what happened." Ba nodded grimly. "They didn't even try to talk to us. Just started killing." In the ship's medical bay, the few doctors they had rescued worked to help the injured. Many had burns or broken bones from the rush to escape. One young man kept saying over and over, "My wife was just behind me. She was right there." Yoonji walked through the ship, checking systems and people. They had food for 3 weeks. The jump drive was damaged but working. They could make it to the nearest human outpost in about 8 days. "Engineer Yoon," an older man said, stopping her in the hallway. It was Dr. Song, the colony's head scientist. "What will happen now?" She looked at him for a long moment. Now we survive. We tell Earth what happened. And then humanity shows these Xeri what a real mistake looks like." That night, as most survivors finally slept, Yoonji stood in the observation room, looking at the stars. The ship's computer was still analyzing the attack data. The aliens had used weapons far beyond what humans had seen before. Their ships moved in ways that seemed impossible. But Yoonji knew something these aliens clearly didn't. Throughout human history, nothing united people like a common enemy. Nothing motivated human ingenuity like the need for revenge. "You should have killed all of us," She whispered to the empty space where New Eden used to be. "Because now we're coming for you." General Kane's old face looked blue in the light from the big screen. He watched the video of New Eden's destruction for the 12th time. Each time he saw it, his anger grew stronger. "Play it again," he said, his voice low and tight. The room was silent as they all watched the alien ships destroy the human colony. They saw buildings turn to dust. They saw people running. They saw the killing happen with cold, careful movements. "The Xeri left no one alive except those on the escape ship," said Intelligence Director Choi. She pointed to patterns on a data screen. "They didn't use their biggest weapons. This was just a small operation for them, like stepping on an ant." President Moon hit the table with her fist. The sound made everyone jump. "They didn't even try to talk to us first," she said. Her voice shook. This wasn't war. This was killing for fun. In the back of the room, a woman with silver hair watched without speaking. Admiral Kim Sun had led Earth's war fleet 20 years ago, before humans decided to focus on peace. Now, everyone was looking at her again. "Admiral," President Moon said, turning to her, "it's time for Protocol Lazarus." Kim nodded once. Her face was hard. "I'll wake up the sleeping fleet at Titan Base, and the secret weapons. All of it." "How long will it take?" asked General Kang. "Too long," Kim said, "but we'll move as fast as we can." Within hours, the news spread through the solar system. Earth was going to war. In space stations and on moons, lights came on in dark shipyards. Giant warships that had been sleeping for decades started to hum with power again. On Mars, old soldiers got messages on their computers and phones. They were needed again. Many had been farming or teaching or building homes. Now they put on uniforms that felt both strange and familiar. Kim walked through Titan Base, where Jupiter's largest moon held Earth's biggest secret, 500 warships, hidden inside the moon itself. Workers rushed around her, bringing the ships back to life. "How many can we get moving in 1 week?" she asked the base commander. "Maybe 50, he said. "These ships need work." "You have 3 days to give me 100, she said. At training centers on Earth, young people lined up to join the military. Many had lost family on New Eden. Their faces were hard with grief and anger. On the moon, scientists opened sealed labs where weapon research had continued in secret. Things too dangerous to use in peacetime were now being loaded onto ships. President Moon spoke to the people of Earth and all its colonies. "For 20 years, we have lived in peace among the stars. We thought we were alone, or that any aliens would be friends. We were wrong. The Xari have shown us the galaxy is not safe, but they have made a mistake. They think we are weak." On her ship, now called Vengeance, Admiral Kim watched as her crew took their places. Many were young and had never fought. Others were old, called back from retirement. "The enemy thinks humans are easy to kill," she told them. "They think we will run or beg for mercy. They don't know us. They don't know that humans have fought wars for thousands of years. They don't know that we have faced death before and won." At weapon factories across Earth, machines worked day and night. Ships that would normally take years to build were being finished in weeks. The escaped ship from New Eden was now at Earth. Engineer Yoon-ji met with Admiral Kim, giving her all the data they had collected about the Xuri ships. "Their weapons are strong," Yoon said, "but their shields have a pattern. I think we can break through." Kim studied the data. "You should rest now. You've done enough." Yoon shook her head. "I want to fight. I need to fight." Kim looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. "Welcome to the Fleet of Vengeance, Engineer." On the edges of the solar system, new sensors watched for any sign of the Xari. Earth would not be caught by surprise again. In her private room, Admiral Kim looked at old pictures of her family. Her husband had died years ago. Her children lived on different planets. She had thought her fighting days were over. "We spent so long learning to live in peace," she whispered to herself. Now we have to remember how to make war. The fleet of vengeance grew larger every day. Humans had spent generations spreading peacefully among the stars, but they had never forgotten how to fight. And the Ksari were about to learn this lesson the hard way. On the red plains of Mars, Captain Bakjin watched his soldiers train. They moved faster than normal humans could. The small machines in their brains helped them react quicker than any human in history. Again, Bake ordered, "Faster this time." The 20 men and women of Revenant Squad moved through the training course. They jumped over barriers, shot targets, and fought robot opponents. Their bodies were covered in sweat, but none of them slowed down. "The Ksari think humans are weak," Buck told them when they finished. "They have never fought us. They killed helpless colonists. They have no idea what soldiers like you can do." One of the soldiers, Lee Min, stepped forward. "My brother died on New Eden, sir. His wife and baby too." His voice was steady, but his eyes burned. "Will we make them pay?" Bake looked at each face in his squad. All had similar stories. All had the same look in their eyes. "Yes," he said simply. "We will make them pay." On the giant ship Relentless, floating above Earth, Admiral Kim walked through busy hallways. People moved aside respectfully as she passed. Some had served with her years ago. Others knew her only as a legend. She entered the bridge, where Commander Ryu waited with reports. "Admiral, we now have 322 ships ready," Ryu said. "More than we planned." Kim nodded. "How many soldiers?" "Nearly 1 million, Ryu said. "Plus the Revenant Special Forces." Kim looked at the big screen showing all the ships in the fleet. Some were old but powerful warships brought back from storage. Others were new, built in the weeks since the attack. All were filled with weapons and angry humans. "The Ksari think we are weak," Ryu said. "Our spies report they believe we have few military ships. Their home worlds are not well protected." "Good," Kim said. "Their pride will be their downfall." We jumped to their space in 36 hours. Throughout the fleet, soldiers and sailors prepared for battle. Many carried small things to remind them of New Eden. Pictures of dead family members, small containers of soil from the colony, recordings of loved ones who died there. In the medical bay of the ship Hammer, Dr. Kwan checked the neural implants of the Revenant soldiers. These special fighters had technology in their brains that let them move and react faster than normal humans. It was technology that had been illegal before the attack. "Does it hurt?" Dr. Kwan asked a female soldier named Sio. "Sometimes," she admitted, "but it's worth it. I'll feel the pain if it helps me kill more Ksari." Dr. Kwan understood her anger but worried about it too. "Just remember, you're still human," he said quietly. Sio's eyes were cold. "Not anymore. They took that from us when they destroyed New Eden." In his private room, Captain Bake watched videos of the Ksari that spies had collected. The aliens looked like a mix of insects and reptiles. They had 4 arms and moved quickly. Their society was built on strength and domination. "They think we're prey animals," he told his second-in-command, Surgeon Yun. "They've conquered other species who couldn't fight back. Now they think we're the same." "They're wrong," Yun said simply. On the main deck of Relentless, Admiral Kim held a meeting with all ship captains through video link. "We have studied the enemy," she told them. "We know their weaknesses. Their shields can't stop our new weapons. Their ships are fast, but can be damaged if hit in the right places. Most importantly, they don't expect us to fight back with real strength." A captain asked, "Will we show mercy if they surrender?" The room went quiet. Everyone knew what the Ksari had done to New Eden. "We will follow the rules of war," Kim said carefully. "But make no mistake, this is not a peacekeeping mission. This is vengeance." Throughout human space, people watched as the fleet of vengeance prepared to leave. For the first time in many generations, all humans were united in one purpose. In her room, Kim looked at an old picture of herself as a young officer. Back then, she had fought to protect Earth from other humans in the last civil war. Now she would lead humans against aliens who thought killing was easy. "You should have left us alone," she whispered, thinking of the Xari. "You had no idea what you were waking up." The countdown began. 36 hours until the jump to Xari space. 36 hours until humanity showed the galaxy that destroying the human colony was the biggest mistake the Xari would ever make. Across the fleet, engines hummed. Weapons were checked one last time. Soldiers said goodbye to families. The greatest military force humans had assembled in 100 years, prepared to bring vengeance to an enemy who didn't yet know they should be afraid. The Xari space station dominance floated near the edge of their territory. It was large and shaped like a sharp blade. Inside, Commander Grek sat at his control center. His green, insect-like body was relaxed. His 4 arms moved over the controls without much care. A light flashed on his screen. Something was coming through fast-travel space. "Commander, we have ships approaching," said his second officer. Grek made a clicking sound with his mouthparts. This was boring work. Nothing important ever happened here. "Probably those human animals," he said. "Maybe they sent a ship to beg us not to kill more of them." His officers laughed. The Xari had destroyed the human colony easily. The humans were weak. Everyone knew that. Then the alarm sounds got louder. The screen showed more ships appearing. Many more. "How many ships?" Grek asked, sitting up straighter now. The officer's voice shook. "Over 300, Commander." "That's not possible," Grek said. "The humans don't have." He never finished his sentence. On the main screen, a human woman with silver hair appeared. Her face was hard like stone. "This is Admiral Kim of the Earth Fleet of Vengeance," she said. "You have killed our people without warning. We have come to answer." Grek tried to call for help, but it was too late. The human ships fired all at once. The station broke apart in seconds. Commander Grek and all his officers died before they could understand what was happening. The fleet of vengeance moved forward. The ships spread out in perfect order. On the bridge of Relentless, Admiral Kim watched the screens. "First target destroyed," reported Commander Ryu. "Moving to the military base on the planet." Kim nodded. "Have the revenants ready to drop." The Xari never expected an attack. Their home defense ships tried to form a line, but they were too few and too slow. Human ships fired new weapons that cut through Xari shields like they weren't there. Captain Bake and his revenant soldiers sat in drop pods, ready to launch down to the planet. These special pods could avoid detection. Each soldier checked their weapons one last time. "Remember your training," Bake told them. "The Xari are strong and have 4 arms. Aim for the center body mass or the head. Don't let them grab you." The pods dropped from the ships above. They fell through the atmosphere, heating up but protected by special shields. They landed in different places around the main Xari military base. Bake's pod opened with a hiss. He stepped out, his special suit making him nearly invisible. His neural implant connected with those of his team. They could feel where each other were without talking. They moved through the Xari base like ghosts. The aliens were in panic. Alarms sounded everywhere. They had never expected humans to fight back, and certainly not here, in their own territory. Bake reached the main defense center first. Inside, Xari officers were trying to organize a response to the ships above. They never saw him enter. "The prey fights back," Bake whispered as he and his team attacked. The fight was short but violent. The revenants moved faster than normal humans could. Their special weapons cut through Xari armor. Even with 4 arms and natural strength, the Xari couldn't match the enhanced humans. Across the planet, other revenant teams did the same. They took control of weapon centers, communication towers, and transport hubs. Regular human soldiers followed, securing each area. In orbit, the space battle was ending. Xari ships burned in the darkness. Human ships had taken damage too, but not much. The surprise had been complete. Admiral Kim received the report from the ground. Planet secured. Admiral, we have prisoners, including high-ranking commanders. Bring the senior officers to me, she ordered. Hours later, a Xari commander stood before her on the bridge of Relentless. His green body was held by energy restraints. His compound eyes reflected the lights of the human ship. Why did you attack New Eden? Kim asked him. What threat did our colony pose? The Xari made a sound that the translators turned into laughter. Threat? No threat. Just showing what happens to lesser species who enter our space. The room went quiet. The human officers stared at the alien. You killed 40,000 people. As a demonstration, Kim asked, her voice ice cold. Of course, the Xari said. That is the way of the strong. You should have stayed in your own little corner of space, humans. Kim looked at the screens showing the destroyed Xari fleet and captured base. And now, what do you think of human strength? For the first time, the Xari seemed unsure. This is not possible. You are prey species. You build colonies, not warships. You were wrong, Kim said simply. And now the path to your homeworld is open. The Xari's body seemed to shrink. Now he understood. The humans weren't just fighting back. They were coming for everything. The great human ships hung in space above the Xari homeworld. The planet below was green and blue, much like Earth. Billions of Xari went about their daily lives, not knowing that death waited above them. On the bridge of the ship Relentless, Admiral Kim looked at the screens showing the planet. Her face was tired but determined. The fleet had fought its way here, destroying every Xari military base they found. Now they had reached the heart of the Xari Empire. Weapons are ready, said Commander Ryu. We can start firing on your order. Kim didn't answer right away. She looked at the planet, thinking about New Eden. She remembered the videos of the colony being destroyed. She remembered the faces of the people who died. The communication screen lit up. It was President Moon from Earth. Admiral, you have brought our fleet to the enemy's home, the President said. What happens next is your choice. The fleet will follow your orders. Everyone on the bridge was silent, waiting. They all knew what the Xari had done. They all wanted justice. We could destroy their world, Kim said quietly. We could kill them all, just as they killed our people. No one spoke against this idea. Many nodded. Captain Blake stood nearby with his revenant soldiers. They had fought hard on many Xari worlds. They had seen the enemy up close. They would not show us mercy, Bak said. They showed New Eden none. Kim closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, her decision was made. Open a channel to their leaders, she ordered. The main screen changed. Now they saw a Xari, bigger than any they had captured before. This was the supreme commander of all Xari forces. His green skin looked pale. His 4 arms moved nervously. I am Admiral Kim of the Human Fleet of Vengeance, Kim said. Your military is destroyed. Your defenses are gone. We can now do to your world what you did to New Eden. The Xari's mouthparts clicked rapidly. Then why do you delay? Why do you speak to us at all? Because we are not like you, Kim said. You destroyed one of our worlds without warning or mercy. You killed our people to show your power. We could do the same to your homeworld. The bridge was silent. Many officers looked confused. They had come all this way for revenge. Now the Admiral was talking instead of firing. Instead, Kim continued, I offer terms. Your complete surrender, payment to rebuild New Eden, and the people who ordered the attack must face human justice. The Xari Supreme Commander seemed confused. You would not destroy our world. You would spare our civilians? When you have total victory. That is what makes us different from you, Kim replied. You have 1 hour to decide. The screen went dark. The bridge erupted in voices. Admiral, they deserve destruction, one officer said angrily. They would not show mercy to us, said another. Kim raised her hand, and silence fell again. If we kill them all, we become what they are, she said. We did not come this far to lose our humanity. Engineer Yunji, who had escaped New Eden, stepped forward. I lost everything to the Xari. My home. Many friends. But I agree with the Admiral. Killing billions won't bring back what we lost. For 1 hour, the fleet waited. Some agreed with Kim's decision. Others wanted the Xari to suffer as New Eden had suffered. But all obeyed their orders. When the hour was over, the Xari Supreme Commander appeared again on the screen. We accept your terms, he said. His voice sounded different now. Humbled. We surrender to humans. News of the surrender spread quickly through human space. Some were angry that the Xari homeworld wasn't destroyed. Others were proud that humanity had shown mercy when revenge was possible. 1 year later, Admiral Kim walked on the rebuilding site of New Eden. New buildings were rising. New farms were growing. In the center of the main city, a large memorial showed the names of all who died in the attack. Next to her walked a Xari diplomat, one of the few allowed to visit human worlds now. I do not understand, the Xari said. Why rebuild here? It would be easier to start somewhere new. Kim looked at the memorial. We rebuild because this is ours. We return because we do not forget. We show mercy because that is our strength. The Xari looked confused. In our history, the strong crush the weak. That is the way of life. Then perhaps you will learn a new way, Kim said. The galaxy is large. There is room for all who respect others. As they walked away, Kim knew humanity had changed forever. They had entered the galactic community not just as another species, but as warriors who understood both strength and mercy, a combination the Xari had never seen before and had fatally misunderstood. The end.